Hello YouTube, for a twist at this week's Let's Read, I decided to do a story that's not complete. The real story just seems to start at chapters 2 and 3. The first tells you who's in it. This is a crossovers romance comedy with Sweetie Belle and Spike called Sweetie and the Dragon. It's by Darth the Redbeard or I should just say Darth Redbeard on FIM fanfiction like all the other stories. And it's about Sweetie Belle, the daughter of an inventor, finds a castle in the Everfree Forest. She soon meets in it the inhabitants and the master of the castle, a dragon with a curse on him. Will she be able to help break the curse? Read and find out. Okay, what is obviously a Beauty and Beast reference there. And I'll read the cast. Belle is obviously Sweetie Belle. The Beast is Spike. The dragon form of the Beast, if only form for his regular self, and it will be an alicorn. That's odd. Sorry. Gaston will be Budmash, really? Lumiere is Fancy Pants. Cogsworth is Pipsqueak. Miss Potts is Fluttershy. Chip is Poundcake. Maurice is Magnum. LeFou is Snips or Snails. LeFou is Snips or Snails. Stove is Flash Century. The Wardrobe Rarity. Batinet is Babette is Fleur. Bookseller is Luna. Enchantress is Celestia. And Monsieur Dark is Sombre. The baker is Mr. Cake. And Footstool is Winona. Three annoying girls is Dine Tiara and the others, giving Silver Spoon a break. Narrator is Flash Century. So far, it sounds like it's a play. Let's get into chapter 2. That's the actual story. Quiet on the set, the director yelled. All around him, the cast was running around trying to get everything to get set up for the new movie. Mr. Redbeard, why do I have to be the villain? A young colt asked. The director turned to him. Because the villain has one of the coolest parts. You did pretty well during your audition that we agreed to have you be the villain. Is there a problem with that? Redbeard asked him. No, sir, Button replied. I was just wondering. There is nothing wrong with wondering, Button. Ask when you have questions. Also, I think Babs wants to talk to you, Redbeard told him. Button soon walked away just as Redbeard heard his name being called. Darth! Rather more like yelled. He liked to run away, but was caught by his tail with Luna's magic. He soon found himself hanging upside down in front of her. Hi, Luna. What seems to be the problem? He asked. Luna's face was not a pleased one today. Darth began to get nervous as she grew more angry, worried she might banish him to the moon. Look at this, she yelled, shoving the script in front of him. You do know I can't read upside down, he told her. Redbeard soon found himself being released and falling head first on the floor. Ouch! Do you really have to do that, Luna? Redbeard asked as he rubbed his head. Yes. Now tell me why I am a bookseller, ordered Luna. Would you rather be one of those three over there? Redbeard asked as he pointed a hoof over to where Dime Tiara and two other fillies were sitting. Luna shuddered at the part those three were playing. Luna turned to Redbeard. Sorry, excuse me there. I guess I see your point, but really, a bookseller? My sister gets the better part than I do. Not fair. Darth just took a deep breath. She also has to play the part of the old beggar at the same time. You want that part? Luna just shook her head. No, I will stick with my part, but I better get a much greater part in the next story. Luna's horn glows, signaling that there will be consequences if it does not happen. Yes, Luna, Darth says. He turns around looking for his two main stars. Has anybody seen Sweetie Belle or Spike? Sweetie Belle is helping to make sure Spike can still transform into a dragon. Twilight answered. Ever since we had him as a pony for the Pony King, he never wanted to change back. Will you blame him? Now he can be with Sweetie Belle without all the gossip and everything from every pony, Flash told her. He deserves to find a happiness, especially after what he went through for a few years, Darth. Darth was confused. What happened? He asked. Diamond and a few others called him and Sweetie Belle freaks. They even insulted Spike for being someplace he didn't even belong in, explained Twilight. I can't blame him for wanting to be a pony after going through that, Darth muttered. I know. It's just I miss him being a dragon at times. Twilight began to cry as she said this. Mom, you don't have to worry. Twilight turned to see she heard Spike's voice. As she heard Spike's voice. I'll still be the dragon you raised. I just want to be a pony. Never expected to be an unicorn, though. Sweetie Belle nodded her head. Very handsome unicorn at that, she told him. Spike's face began to turn red from the compliment. Sweetie Belle just giggled and kissed him on the cheek. Darth, Luna, Twilight, and Flash just laughed. All right, every pony, we need to get ready. Spike, can you still transform into a dragon? Asked Redbeard. I'm having trouble doing that. I need more magic to help, and Sweetie Belle can't help me at all, Spike told her. I'll have Celestia take care of it for you. Did you get the rose we needed, Luna? Redbeard asked. I got it. I gave it to Celestia. Maybe she can make a spell that would make it like the movie itself. Let's hope. All right, every pony. Places. Rainbow Dash and Soren, get out of the janitor's closet right now. Applejack, I need you to get back here to help me with your sister with the lights. Mr. Cake, make sure you have the bakery set up. Derpy and Time Toner, security now. I need Spike, Celestia, and all the castle staff on stage. Button, turn to Babs. I'll see you soon, dear, Button told his Philly friend. Good luck and break a leg, she replied as she kissed him. Yes, I would like to remind you all, no cell phones while this is going on, and no rude language. All that. This is rated everyone, Darth explained. All right, replied the audience. Redbeard turned to his crew. Lights, Applebloom and Skulu turned off the lights. Camera, yelled Darth. Camera's rolling, replied Rayburn and Caramel. Hopeshield, can you bring me a cup of coffee and some donuts? I have a feeling this is going to be a long day, Redbeard told his assistant. Right away, sir, Hope replied. Sweetie Belle, no killing any pony for looking at Spike like this. Please, Rarity told her sister as she got on the stage. I'll try not to, Rarity, she replied as she went back to where the remaining cast was, waiting for her part. Shining Armor, get ready. These are your lines coming up, Luna yelled. Coming, Shining replied as he ran onto the stage. Celestia, you need to cast the spell on the rose. Spike can't transform right now, said Pipsqueak. All right, Celestia's horn began to glow as the spell was cast. Action! Pinky's party cannon soon went off, and as random stuff happened all over the room. Pinky, everyone yelled. What? He said action. Pinky replied with a smile on her face. Doctors groaned as he reached a hoof to his head. Somebody, pony, give me my doctor on the phone, muttered Darth. Once upon a time in the Everfree Forest, a young alicorn prince lived in a large, shining castle. Although he had everything he could ever want, the prince was spoiled and selfish. Bring me my food, he yelled. The prince wore dark purple dress robes that matched his fur, as well as a crown that was as shiny as gold. The The cook brought out the food, his hoofs shaking as he handed the food to the prince. "Here's your food, sir." He trembled. The prince looked at the food and knocked it out of the cook's hoofs. "That was the wrong food," he complained. "Bring me the correct food, or it will be the dungeon for you." The cook shook in fear, knowing that when somebody pony went was sent to the dungeons they were never heard from again. "Yes, of course, your highness." He ran back into the kitchen, making sure he got the right meal this time. A few minutes later a knock was at the door. The prince went to answer the door, only to discover an old beggar pony at the door. "Excuse me, sir, good sir, but I was wondering if I could stay here for the night," she began. "As payment I offer you this rose." The prince was repulsed by her hideous appearance. He sneered at the gift and told her to leave. "Don't judge on appearances, for beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and outer beauty does not always count." The prince just turned away, and closed the door. The old beggar's outer look melted to reveal a beautiful enchantress. The prince began to beg for. I'm sorry again. The prince begged for forgiveness, only to fall on deaf ears, for she had seen that he had no love in his heart. As punishment, she transformed him into a hideous dragon, and placed a powerful spell on the castle, all that lived there. Ashamed by his appearance, he hid himself in the castle, with a mirror as his only link to the outside world. And the rose was an enchanted rose that would bloom until his 21st birthday. If he could love a pony and earn her love in return, the spell would be broken. If not, he would be doomed to remain a dragon forever. As the years passed, he began to lose hope, for who could ever love a dragon? Sweetie and the Dragon. Years later, in a small town of Ponyville, a young mare was leaving her home to the market. The market was busy with shops just opening up. "A wonderful day in Ponyville," she said. The young mare's name was Sweetie. She walked down to the center of the town and saw Mr. Cake getting his stand to get ready. "Good morning, Sweetie," he said. "Good morning, Mr. Cake," she replied. "Where are you heading to?" Mr. Cake asked. Sweetie smiled. "The bookshop," she began. "I'm on my way to get a new book, maybe this time with some romance." Mr. Cake smiled, knowing that Sweetie loved romance books. "Sounds nice. I better get this ready before my wife gets after me for delaying," Mr. Cake explained. Sweetie nodded and continued on to the bookstore. When she arrived, she ran into the store's owner, Luna. The store was filled with books. Sweetie thought that these books went all the way up to the moon, considering the size of many of the shelves. "Hi, Luna!" Sweetie exclaimed. Luna smiled, knowing that Sweetie was one of her best customers. She had a feeling on what Sweetie would want, considering she read it like 3 times already. She had set it aside, knowing it would be another week or so before she got any new books. "Hello, Sweetie Belle," Luna replied. Sweetie dropped off her book at the desk and went over to the romance section. "Anything new?" she asked. When Luna shook her head, Sweetie looked around for another book, only to have Luna levitate in front of her. "You know I would want this one, didn't you? You knew I would want this one, didn't you?" I'm sorry again. "I also let you keep this book since it seems to be your favorite," Luna said. Sweetie hugged her, all the while yelling, "Thank you!" She left the shop and continued on home, not knowing that another pony was watching her behind a dark alley, his eyes filled with ill intent. He soon wandered out in front of the nearby stand, alone with his sidekick, Snails. "Are you sure she'll want to be with you, Button?" Snails asked, his face full of confusion. Button just grinned. "Of course she'll want to be with me," he replied. "I'm the most handsome stallion here in Ponyville." He looked at himself in a pan, only to be hit by the stand's owner. Hey kid, are you going to just stand there, or are you going to buy something? He said, his voice strained with irritation. Blue Button looked up at the blue stallion, his yellow eyes glaring at him from beneath his hat. He could see the stallion challenging him, making him very angry. "Why did you hit me?" he asked, annoyed at being hit. "Because I'm tired of seeing you loitering around my stand. It's become a daily routine for you." "Well then, I'll just leave. Come on, Snails." The two left, as Diamond Tiara and two other mares watched him walk away. "Now wait just a minute there, kid. You're still not going to get her attention just by standing around on our stand." "Who?" Button asked. "Why, the girl you're eyeing just now. She's never going to notice you that way." "Of course she'll notice me," Button exclaimed. "Not without the proper equipment, she won't." He gave Button a slimy smile. "You see, the problem is that there's nothing eye-catching about you. But don't worry, I got just the thing." "What?" he asked. "A camera. Trust me, kid, girls go crazy for these things. They see a lad walking down the street with one of these here cameras, and they'll and it pulls him in like magnets." "You're certain?" his eyes lighting up at the device. "Absolutely. Here, try this one on," he said, immediately pulling out a camera and placing it on his neck. "That's the ticket. Now you're not just a guy in the background. Now you're important." Button's face lit up in excitement as he began walking away from the stand. Now he had the means to make Sweetie Belle like him, and hopefully marry him. Unknown to him, the owner laughed and quickly closed up shop, satisfied for another pay. Since Sweetie Belle paid him 200 bits to get Button off her back, but at the same time upset that he didn't fully do his job. "He's so dreamy," Diamond gushed. "I know, right?" A second mare asked. Button just walked by them and went toward Sweetie Belle. "Hey, Sweetie Belle." Sweetie Belle turned and saw Button walking at her. "What do you want, Button Mash?" she asked, trying not to sound rude. She was getting frustrated with all the times he hit on her. She tried to get him to realize she wasn't interested, but it never worked. He just kept on trying to get close to her, making her feel uncomfortable. "Nothing. Anything different?" Button asked. "I see a joke camera around your neck," she replied. Button was confused. "What do you mean, joke camera?" He tried to take a picture, only to have a boxing glove come out and hit him in the face. He turned to the stand, only to find "Out to lunch. It's only 9 a.m." "Out to lunch. It's only 9 a.m." he yelled as his eyes began twitching and his hooves shook in a rage. Unknown to Button, the stand owner was hiding behind an alleyway. 98, 99, and 100, he said, counting his bag of newly acquired bits. "Looks like a payday, Triply." The pony pocketed his earnings and disappeared into the shadows of the alley. "Look, right now I need to get home and help my father," Sweetie explained. "That old loco needs all the help he can get," Snails said. Buttons and Snails laughed just as an explosion came from Sweetie Belle's house, black smoke rising from the basement window. Fearing something terrible had happened, she ran home to check on her dad, who was in the basement working on his latest invention. "Dad, are you all right?" she asked as she entered the basement. All she could see for a few seconds was smoke before it cleared away. She looked around, noticing no damage besides a few broken chairs, and saw her dad beside a strange machine. "Still not working?" "Not yet, but I have an idea," he replied. "Now hand me that wrench. I just need to tighten this bolt, and it should work. So how was your day?" "The usual," Sweetie Belle answered. "Button kept on hitting on me. I just wish he would stop. He's been getting worse, but today his attempt was pretty funny." "How's that?" Magnum asked. He was getting annoyed with the way fun was, but he knew his daughter could handle it. He tried to impress me with the camera, but it was one of those trick ones. He got hit with a boxing glove. Sweet Belle laughed at the memory. I have a feeling he met the new stand owner. Never trust one that seems too friendly. Now that should be do it. Let's fire her up, Magnum said. He started the machine up as it began to chop up more wood. This should really help you win the fair this year, Sweetie explained. Time to head to the fair. Just as he finished, Magnum was hit on the side of the head with a log. He began placing the machine into his cart and got himself ready to go. Take care while I'm gone, Sweetie Belle, he said as he began walking down the trail to Dawes Junction, where the fair was taking place. End of chapter 3. And that's the story so far. I'm sorry for my little hiccups there. I thought I finally fixed that. Um so if anyone wants to like or subscribe this story, go the link to it isn't going to be in the description. And if anyone has any stories they want me to read or just wants to hear me read any more stories without trying to hiccup like I have been, then like and subscribe this video. Share it with others. Give me some tips if you have any. Um, and again, this is by Darth Redbeard, this story. So, check it out. That's going to be the only story for this week, but I have some others for next week. Some other good ones too. Bye.